it's been exciting. You're looking at the teams and you're looking how All Blacks have been under the radar. The whole narrative around Eddie Jones being back in charge of Australia. How's that for you, Eddie? Imagine being Dave Rennie now. Like the Aussies were going places, I think, under Dave Rennie. They had a tough time, loads of injuries, but you look back on their tour. Yes, they lost to Italy, but they played the Shags and they could have won it with the last kick of the game. They pushed Ireland, probably should have beaten Ireland, maybe, in Dublin. Could have beaten France in Paris. You got rid of Dave Rennie, loads of injuries. Eddie Jones comes back, riding in on his horse. How are you, Eddie?
But the
Sells out the MCG, though.
The MCG, we'll get onto that. That's amazing. But I think that they've brought Eddie in, not just to... I think they've... To throw a cat amongst the pigeons, which you could do back in the day. You probably can't even do
I think
that
you
now.
can now, James.
You can
Well, a cat might be hungry. It might need to eat a pigeon.
Okay, well, I don't know what you can and can't do, but or you can and can't say. We work through these analogies that you can't say anymore. Anyway, it blew my mind.
It's a minefield out there.
It is a minefield.
You can't say that.
You can't. Of course you can't.
You can't say minefield.
Just say it's a Minecraft then, because kids play that. It's really good for the mental health. But they brought Eddie in for a number of reasons. Yeah. Was that the MCG? Was it not? So how many people did they get there?
It's just under 84,000.
83. But there was
looked unreal.
It looked amazing. It did.
Isn't there a Lions game there? There is.
Yeah,
there is. God, I know my rugby. Yeah, there's a Lions game there in a couple of years.
Yeah, and it did. And I get Jim's point. They brought Eddie Jones back. The whole narrative around it. Read what John Connolly said about him, though. He's a charlatan, mate. He's got.
I'd love to be a charlatan.
Yeah. But Eddie Jones, I say it on here. What's he done for the last 3 or 4 years?
World Cup, though. A World Cup is where he's proven.
He's talked a lot in the press. Can't remember the last time. It might have beaten Italy. I think that was about it, was it? But he, I think he's passed his sell-by date as a coach. I really do. Get him in a managerial role or something else. But pure coaching, I reckon he's a dinosaur. And he's like, come with us, mate. This is international rugby. Come with us on the journey.
Come with you, Eddie. I'm coming with him.
Where are we going, mate? But how are you, Eddie? You could have taken 60 points against the All Blacks at the weekend. You got smoked by South Africa. You lost to Argentina at home. But he's great value for...
He is great value.
For comments in the press. But also, Eddie, if you're going to give it, you've got to take it. And we come on, start of season 8, and we saw him have a pop at that journo when he said in the week about we're going back to the South Africa game, where he's like, yeah, mate, I wanted South Africa to play their A team. because they played the B team. And then you got hammered by the B team. And then the bloke was like, it's fair question, I thought, from the journo. He's like, oh, are you happy they didn't play there? Oh, don't be a smart ass, mate. mate. Smart ass.
He loses his shit. It's so funny.
Yeah, but it's the same. You give it, Eddie, you got to take it. And
what would you say if he was saying that to you? Would you go back at him on that?
Yeah. I'd be like, well, hold on, Eddie, you said it.
You can do that, though. He can do it in a real cool, like, as in Goody, like, you've got your arms folded. Someone comes at me like that, I'm standing up.
You're ready to scrap.
I know.
Yeah. Red mist comes over you.
And I
do get the red mist.
And fair play to Eddie Jones. He's used his one get out of jail free card this week because he said that performance against New Zealand, everyone's like, oh, I thought Australia played really well. You play well for 10 minutes at the start, boys, then you got absolutely hosed. He's put his hand up and said it's all on him as a coach. But he did that with England a few times when he said, oh, it's me about preparing the team and all this stuff. But yeah, listen, thank God for Australia that they supposedly got an easier group, even though it's going to be a tough group because of the potential with Fiji and Georgia and all that stuff. But he'll come. Will he come good? I hope not.
Key positions. They've mixed their 9 and 10 up for the game at the weekend.
Tate McDermott and Carter Gordon.
What a lid on
Unbelievable.
Gordon.
Yeah,
for a 10 as well. Looks great, but they've got an issue at 10 clearly. Yeah. So you look at all the teams in the top 5, top 6.
But when Quade Cooper came back in under Dave Rennie, how well did they play?
I know.
Just saying it.
But I'm saying right now, you look at it, all the top teams, you could pick their 10 or their key positions, whereas Australia, and this isn't because I haven't seen much of them, albeit I've not seen loads of them, but they don't look nailed down in key positions.
Like all the other teams have got 10s and 9s battling to get in, whereas Australia's more got trying to find a 10, but they've been trying to find a 10 for years.
They have.
So he's trying to play a game that he thinks suited international rugby. Mate, come on the journey with us. But he's talking about box kicking and playing the way we saw England play. Doesn't suit the Australians. I don't think it suits the Australians and how they want to play and their psyche of how they play rugby.
Just get the ball to Ngatawazi,
yeah.
No, it's Nwanga Nitawase.
that guy.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Get him to get the
How
ball
good
to
am
him.
I saying that? I had his name above my bed with the cowboy boots on. Yeah.
And Beck was
Yeah.
looking at was Beck saying his name?
Nwanga Nitawase.
Is
She
that-
couldn't. She couldn't. But yeah, he's quality. They've got
They've
great
got great
athletes.
players.
So
Will
Great
Skelton's
athletes.
back. Valentini's a monster. Big pack. Scrummaging. But Karevi, they've got some unbelievable players. It's just coached by a clown.
Good at World Cup. Eddie Jones, Australia, with history at the World Cup. So I can't bloody wait.
Judge me on a World Cup, mate.
We will.
Come on the journey,
We
mate.
certainly will. I'm on the journey, Eddie.